Hello friends, welcome to Insights I Can Initiative. Welcome to the weekly current issues week number 15. In case if you did not check the previous weekly current issues, you can check by going to the playlist named as weekly current issue. In this weekly current issues week number 15, we are going to cover these 6 topics. The first one is related to ENCORE software. It is regarding the governance and how the technology can be used in democracy and polity. Second one, National Efficient Cooking Program. It is related to science and technology, how the technology can help in achieving the sustainable energy solutions. Third one is regarding the Adaptation Gap Report. It is regarding how we are adapting regarding the climate change. Okay. So, because previously we given much importance to the mitigation, now we are giving much importance to adaptation or adaptability. Recently in COP27 meeting, you know that islands, Solomon Islands and some islands, like Tuvalu, they argued that okay, fine, we can concentrate on the prevention, but meanwhile we have to mitigate, we have to adapt to the climate change. For that, even they demanded the loss and damage fund as well. Okay. The fourth one is Philippines exit from BRI. It is not surprising that recently, even we discussed a few weeks back that Philippines it went beyond these floating barriers of China and it ventured into the South China Sea. It is having such kind of dispute with China, especially regarding the territorial jurisdiction, water jurisdiction, jurisdiction in the South China Sea. Fifth one, Zika virus outbreak. Recently, this outbreak was observed in Karnataka. And the sixth one, report by Financial Action Task Force. You know that Financial Action Task Force is an organization which try to control the terror financing, money laundering, as well as the development of weapons of mass destruction, and recently even like digital currency as well comes under the control of this Financial Action Task Force. Now we will discuss about all these 6 topics in detail. Meanwhile, I would like to remind you that I am including this particular video related notes in the description. You can check in the first statement, there is a PDF file, you can check the notes. Now first we will see the ENCORE. This software is related to Election Commission of India. By using this, they are going to give the complete information regarding the candidate as well as the election management. All the details, election management details includes poll date and the polling station information, local booth level officer and the returning officer. All that information will be available in this app. Now first we will see the what ENCORE stands for. ENCORE stands for Enabling Communications on Real-Time Environment, and it provides the complete information related to the returning officers to process the candidate nominations, to affidavits, voter turnout, counting and declaring results. That means it provides end-to-end solution from the nomination till the declaration of results. And another application recently they developed Election Commission of India, that is ENCORE Scrutiny application. It will scrutiny, it helps to returning officer regarding the scrutiny of nomination, whether the nomination papers, whatever the papers filed by these candidates which includes the B forms as well, those nomination papers are according to the norms or not. So it helps to returning officer regarding the scrutiny of nominations. Here you have to know about Election Commission of India. Election Commission of India is a constitutional body and it is present in the Indian Constitution under the provision of Article 324. You know that Election Commission of India conducts election to President, Vice President, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, Assembly and Council elections. Okay. Then not only that, it helps in compiling the voter list, and it also decides, it helps to delimitation commission regarding the drawing of constituencies related to Assembly as well as the Lok Sabha. Apart from that, the Election Commission of India ensures the free and fair elections, and if you remember under Article 102 Clause 1, when President is disqualifying any candidate, any member of Parliament, he has to act according to the advice given by Election Commission of India. In this regard, the advice given by Election Commission of India is binding on President. Regarding the strength of Election Commission of India, Constitution did not prescribe about the strength. Now we are following the strength of 1+2, that is Chief Election Commissioner plus 2 election commissioners, that is under Article 324 Clause 2. All these 3 are appointed by the President. So even Parliament made one law. According to the Parliament law, this Chief Election Commissioner, he will be removed similar to Supreme Court judge, but the rest of the election commissioners, they can be removed on the advice of the Chief Election Commissioner. Regarding the Chief Election Commissioner as well as the Election Commission, there is no particular qualifications are prescribed in the Constitution. The tenure also decided by the Parliament, that is 6 years or the age of 65 years. CEC as well as EC, they enjoy the similar powers and emoluments related to Supreme Court judges. The selection committee regarding the CEC as well as ECs, previously it used to be the Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha, Chief Justice of India. Recently, there is a proposal to reconstitute this selection committee. Here the selection committee is going to consist of Prime Minister, Union Cabinet Minister. Instead of Chief Justice of India, a Union Cabinet Minister who will be recommended by the Prime Minister and Leader of Opposition. That means more or less completely executive role is going to be there. So the judiciary is being sidelined from the selection committee. That is one of the worrisome thing regarding this particular bill. That is the reason it draws a lot of controversies as well. Now we'll see the second topic, that is EESL launched the programs related to promote energy efficient induction cookers. This is regarding the usage of more sustainable technologies in developing of cooking vessels. We'll see. Here we are going to discuss about which agency, Energy Efficiency Service Limited, EESL. They launched certain things such as National Efficient Cooking Program. Under this particular agency will develop cooking devices which are very energy efficient in nature, as well as energy efficient fans program as well, because these are the two type of equipment very commonly used by most of the households in India. Regarding this particular program, we will see in this particular program, clean cooking scheme will be encouraged. They mainly focused on non-solar as well as electricity based induction cooking stove. Here they give emphasis to electricity, but the electricity equipment, whatever the electricity equipment we are using here, they consume very less amount of the electricity. This program introduced the induction based cooking stoves. The target is to deploy around 20 lakh induction cooking stoves across India under this particular program. This EESL, that is this agency, their main responsibility is to reduce the environmental impact of cooking methods. They ensure clean air as well as improved health for citizens. This EESL, it is promoted by Ministry of Power, that under Government of India, as a joint venture of this ministry as well as the four another public sector undertakings. These four public sector undertakings are NTPC, Power Finance Corporation Limited, REC Limited and Power Grid Corporation of India Limited. This particular Energy Efficiency Service Limited, EESL, it incorporated under Companies Act 1956 in 2009. It was formed to implement mainly energy efficient programs of Bureau of Energy Efficiency, Ministry of Power and Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. For these ministries or for these agencies, this particular agency is going to be the implementing agency. It is also leading the market related activities, marketing of products developed by National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency. So this is regarding the energy efficient cooking equipment as well as the household equipment. These are the non-solar based. Now the third topic is underfinanced, underrepresented adoption gap report. Like I mentioned earlier, climate change. So far we given much importance to the mitigation strategy. Okay, fine, we are mitigating the climate change, but at the same time this climate change is continuously happening and the global warming is continuing. In this aspect, along with the emphasis on mitigation, we have to adapt to the changing climate conditions as well, because these small islands, they are going to suffer a lot because of the increased temperature related to global warming. For the global warming, majorly developed nations are majorly they are responsible, but they are not that much suffered compared to the coastal islands as well as islands present in oceans. For those particular vulnerable places, they need money to mitigate the damage from this climate change. That is nothing but that will be covered under the Adaptation Gap Report. Now we will see. Okay. So here, Adaptation Gap Report, in this mitigation is all about reducing the risk, whereas adaptation is all about the reducing the risk and minimize the loss and damage. Regarding this, in COP27, loss and damage fund was also been proposed by this COP summit, okay, UNFCCC. So now we will see, according to this Adaptation Gap Report, the money being realized by developed nations towards the developing countries, it is not adequate. And this particular report is published by, in few days back, when I was saying about the theme of the day, in that I was saying that when this kind of reports are released, first we have to check who is releasing this report. This report is published annually by the United Nations Frame Environment Program, UNEP. UNEP. Tell me students, the headquarters of UNEP present, okay, in which place it is present? Its main aim of this report is national as well as international efforts to advance adaptation towards the climate change. It complements emission gap report as well. So emission gap report, it gives information regarding the how much our targets in terms of emissions and how much emissions we are actually releasing. This particular report, it is co-produced by UNEP Copenhagen Climate Center as well as World Adaptation Science Program. These particular agencies are also involved in this adaptation report. What are the findings? The findings are the adaptation costs, they are going to be increased by 2050. That means the money which we require for adaptation against the climate change, it is going to be increased. That means obviously the adaptation fund, the quantum of the fund has to be raised. But in the contrary, the adaptation finance needs around 10 to 18 times compared to now. It requires 10 to 18 times higher than this by 2050. In 2021, if you look at the trend in 2021, funding from the developed countries, rather than increasing, it is reduced 15% lower. It is a very disappointing thing. Okay. So what this report is saying that? This report is saying that the international finance flows have to be increased and a greater domestic mobilization of resources required along with the international funding, as well as this report is calling for reforms in the global financial architecture. What does it mean? So this report is advocating that international organizations such as IMF and World Bank, they should give, and they should be very flexible enough when they are giving loans to environment related projects. That is, this report is all about. Now the fourth topic of this particular video is Philippines exited from the BRI, Belt and Road Initiative. You know that students, the Belt and Road Initiative is infrastructure project proposed by China. This BRI consists of land part of the project as well as the maritime project. The land part is known as One Belt One Road and the maritime part is known as String of Pearls. Philippines for last few years it is having dispute with China regarding the South China Sea. If you remember, regarding the South China Sea access, both China and Philippines, they approached to International Court of Arbitration. The International Court of Arbitration, they given judgment in favor of Philippines, but China is not abide to that. So after looking at all these things, it is not surprising that Philippines announcement behind this exiting from BRI. You know that in recent G20, India along with USA, we proposed one more economic corridor as well. Okay, that is India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor. Even if you remember, one more European country also announced that they are in the way of exiting from this Belt and Road Initiative. If you remember, put that answer in your comment section, students. Which European country they announced that they are in the thinking of exiting from BRI? Philippines announced now from BRI. About the BRI, now Philippines, they have scrapped 4.9 billion worth of Chinese project in Philippines. So, and after exiting from this, it added to the group of other countries which are out of the BRI, such as Japan, South Korea, US and European Union. These are out of BRI, of course India as well. India's main contention is this BRI is violating the India sovereignty in terms of China-Pakistan economic corridor. Already Philippines and China, they are having some rough relations regarding the contention in the South China Sea and US support to Philippines and economic and political factors. If you remember, last year I think so, Philippines announced Raman Magsaysay Award to one of the former health ministry of India, okay, Kerala health minister. If you remember, name that person for her contributions during the COVID time. Raman Magsaysay Award given to her, and she was the former health minister of Kerala. Of course, she declined that award as well on the ideological difference. Now the significance for India. India is also not part of this China's BRI project. So that this is the trend we are observing, that nowadays most of the countries, they are realizing that debt trap is creating by China as a part, on the name of this BRI. It is also showing that countries are giving more importance to their territorial integrity as well as sovereign rights. Okay. Next, Zika virus. So now recently Zika virus spread is observed in Karnataka. Now this is some of the basic information regarding the Zika virus. There is no treatment or vaccine available at the moment to Zika virus. Symptoms. Sometimes these symptoms are not visible up to 2 or 3 days after the infection, but general symptoms are fever, rashes and joint pains. Illness sometimes it may lead to death, but death is very rare. Symptoms normally appears after 2 to 7 days. 1 in 5 people infected people, they will become ill. It is transmitted by mosquito. Mosquitoes here act as vectors, that you have to remember. Zika virus. 5 Karnataka villages, they come under the surveillance after the Zika virus outbreak. The Zika virus outbreak, it is mainly caused by mosquitoes belong to Aedes aegypti. This particular type of mosquitoes are very frequent in tropical and subtropical region. That means 30 degrees north to 30 degrees south on either direction of the equator. Aedes mosquitoes usually they bite during the day. Even the dengue disease as well, it caused by mosquito bite during the daytime. These mosquitoes transfer, like I said earlier, dengue, chikungunya and urban yellow fever. These are the various diseases transferred by or transmitted by this particular type of mosquitoes. And sometimes this particular Zika virus may transfer from mother to baby as well. The common mode of this disease transmission is in the form of sexual contact, transfusion of blood or organ transplantation. Symptoms, like I said earlier, generally symptoms will appear after 3 to 14 days of infection. Treatment, there is no specific treatment. WHO step in 2016, WHO declared Zika related microcephaly. It is as a public health emergency of international concern. If you remember, this particular disease was in news when Brazil was hosting Olympics. At that time, even few athletes, because of the fear of this particular disease, even few athletes, they did not participate in the Rio Olympics as well. Here I would like to ask one question. Recently India announced that India is ready to conduct Olympics in which year? Okay, just put your answer in the comment section. Here the last one, FATF. FATF stands for Financial Action Task Force. Recently Financial Action Task Force highlighted that one of the violent extremist organization, they raised funds in India through well structured network. This is a very alarming situation. Okay, in this context we are going to discuss about FATF. FATF, it is an intergovernmental organization. That means country governments will be part of these organizations. They tackle issues such as money laundering, terrorist and proliferation financing related to terrorism. It was established in 1989 by G7 to examine and develop measures to combat money laundering. Not only money laundering, later various other themes such as terror financing as well as developing of weapons of mass destruction and digital currency. These are the various areas which brought under the Financial Action Task Force. You might have heard that if any country is not cooperating to Financial Action Task Force after the repeated request as well, then that country will be kept under blacklist. After the initial warning, generally the country will be kept under grey list. If still the country remain non-cooperative, then it will be put under blacklist. If any particular country is under the blacklist, that country's perspectives regarding the lending from or borrowing or rate of interest, all those will be affected. Even the country's credit rating also will be affected. Even though originally it was floated by G7, later European Union and some other countries also joined in this. Now the strength of this organization expanded to 40 member countries. Recently Indonesia also joined as a member of FATF. This is blacklist I explained. At the moment, following countries are in the blacklist of FATF. They are North Korea, Iran and Myanmar. Grey list. Few countries been served warning of FATF. Around 23 countries are present in grey list, including Turkey, UAE as well as South Africa. So these are the 6 topics in today's video. Now let us see yesterday's video question. Which of the following statement is not correct? The 4th statement out of that, seismic station, the first wave to arrive was surface waves. This statement is wrong because the first wave to arrive P waves, then S waves. These two are body waves, yesterday I told you, and lastly surface waves will be recorded. So the wrong answer must be C. Now we will see today's questions. First question, consider the following statement regarding the provisions of joint sitting in Indian Constitution. Regarding the joint sitting, which of the following statement is right? Next question. Champions of the Earth Award that recognizes outstanding environmental leaders from the public and private sector was established by which organization? Established. If I remember, this award also given to our Prime Minister once. In which of the following states is Amanga Tiger Reserve located? In which one? Amanga Tiger Reserve in which state? Next question. Prachand mentioned in the news sometimes, related to what? Prachand. Next question. How many nations does Qatar share land border with? How many nations does Qatar share land border with? These are the MCQs of today's video. Now, before we end this video, let us revise quickly. In this weekly current issues 15, these are the 6 topics we discussed, and these 6 topics include from ENCORE software till report by the Financial Action Task Force. This is the detailed analysis regarding the weekly current issues week number 15. Thank you.